more on this report, we're now joined by Stephen Gibbs from Caracas, Venezuela. Welcome, Stephen. What do we know about President Chávez's health? You say in the piece that he has the look of a man reborn, but how does he physically look in person?
Well, at that launch of his presidential campaign down in Maracay, I did have an opportunity to get pretty close to him, and that's very different than watching it on television. He certainly didn't look like a man on death's door. He was full of energy. He was on top of that truck for hours during the midday sun here. He was blowing kisses to the crowds. He was laughing. He was joking. And then a few days later, he appears in the National Assembly, delivers a long speech. The energy does seem to have come back. We don't know how ill Hugo Chávez really is. Only he and possibly a few of his very, very close intimate circle of doctors do know the truth.
The protest that you had in your story had students in it. Does Chavez have a following of younger people, older people, or both?
It's not really an age thing, it is a class thing. And in a way, Chavez is playing on that. He says that all that's happening on the part of the opposition, all they're really trying to do is go back to how this country was run before, and that was a middle class or upper class elite had all the controls on power, and the poor people were completely ignored. This is the Chavez view of the history of Venezuela, and also those poor people, of course, didn't vote. The one key thing he has managed to do, as well as promoting literacy amongst the poor people, alongside that, he's got millions of people who didn't vote before 1998, and now they're voting for him.
Well, you know, that being said, if Chavez has been so successful in his presidency, especially with some of the social programs that he introduced, why are there other problems, such as the infrastructure? Why is the infrastructure crumbling in Venezuela?
If you talk to the opposition about this, what they would say is that what Mr. Chavez has been doing is a sort of handout help to the problems of this country, immediate solutions. So going into the poorest areas, maybe building a small hospital or a small clinic, maybe giving out very highly subsidized food. That is a good thing. It's a popular thing. Some argue it's a populist thing, and it also gets the headlines. Now, the opposition say that what Mr. Chavez hasn't been doing over the last 13 years is the more boring, less headline-grabbing infrastructure projects. He's been pouring money at these headline-grabbing things, and he hasn't spent money on things like the electricity grid, the sewage system, etc. Now, to put the government's point of view on that, they say what they inherited was the problem, and that they're doing as much as they can, as quickly as they can to sort things out. And actually, recently on the infrastructure issue, the government has signed a $1.3 billion deal with China, the National Grid Company of China, to improve the electricity grid situation here.
Stephen Gibbs, thank you for that report from Venezuela.